I would say I definitely feel welcome to practice my religion at SLU just because it is a Catholic campus. I kind of just feel like I'm in the majority, and I've never felt like oppressed with that, I guess. I don't know that it affects it all that much, really, besides like the time that I go to mass. Because at home I go to usually like 10:30 a.m. And here I go to the 9 p.m. student mass every week. So that's pretty much the only way that it affects it. I'd say there is like more opportunity here, just because we have like masses in my residence hall and all like around campus that are a lot easier to get to. Like at home, I'd have to drive, and here I can just walk down from my room. So that's kind of nice. I would say that my college experience has been a little bit different because of SLU's religious identity, just because it is so accessible to go to Mass, and a lot of my friends will go to Mass with me. So I think if I had gone to a non Catholic school, it might have been a little bit more difficult. I don't think I would have changed anything. I think I would still be going to Mass every week, but it just might be a little bit more difficult to do.
I feel welcomed to practice my religion at SLU, well, Hinduism. I think SLU does offer they offer great resources to practice the religion. I mean, I guess in public, like through the interfaith space, and then there's like organizations like HSC or Hindu Student Community, and that's like those type of communities are also there for other religions, I'm sure, like on campus. So I think those are like great like resources, especially if you're coming into SLU and you're pretty new to like the surroundings and you're not sure how to practice your religion. You could like use organizations like HSC to jump off of the fact like how can you practice your religion. But I think even though that SLU does offer a public place to practice a religion, most people prefer like personal spaces. So I personally do practice my religion in my room. For me, I think I've become more religious since going into college because, I mean, I have more of a sense of individuality. Like, when I was at home, my worship was overshadowed by the practices of my parents. But since now I'm at SLU, I can practice as I see fit. And I feel like everyone has a different style, and you kind of get to explore that now that you're on your own. Coming to college, like allowed me to have an individualized mindset, like Deepa was saying earlier, and I began to learn what it meant for me to practice Hindu. Like because there's once you come to a specific place where you're away from like everybody else, like your family, you just start knowing like what you should be specifically doing to practice Hinduism, and it allowed me to like figure out how much I wanted to connect to God, which was even more.
Say yes, that I feel welcomed. I have the interfaith prayer room in the Bush Student Center, so I have a space to pray where it's quiet and it's a designated place of service, so I don't really have to worry about anyone just barging in and interrupting in the middle of my prayer. With college, you can kind of schedule your classes around prayer times or right after class go directly to prayer and not have to worry about another commitment right afterwards. And that's, of course, if your luck works out where you can make your schedule based off of the prayer times. Another thing I would say is that college has really emphasized my worship just because there's more identity groups on campus. So I'm affiliated with MSA, which is Muslim Student Association, as well as MESA, Middle Eastern Student Association, and just having those concentrated groups where you have a very focused mission and really values was really, really helpful to have in college. So seeing SLU's love of the Jesuit mission just made me love my Islamic mission and values even more. I wouldn't really say that SLU's religious identity really contributed to my love for my faith and my dedication for my faith, but seeing and being on a Jesuit campus that really has the forefront of religious values is good, because I think all religions share similar values in trying to be a good person, essentially, and be kind to others and be generous and to live out the goals. And I think we're all just trying to do it in just different ways.
I do feel pretty welcomed. I think maybe we lack some resources and some available space occasionally, but I don't feel like I can't openly practice if I wanted to.
I feel like the fact that it's a Jesuit school makes people more inclined to ask questions about other religions rather than just, assume everyone there is Catholic or Christian or whatever. And yeah, so as Katie said, there could be more resources, but I feel like they're on their way to doing a better job.
I wouldn't say I was very religious before college, but after, it kind of built a community here that I didn't even know I needed. And even if we're not always on campus doing stuff together, there's a lot of communities around us that allow us to get connected and makes it easier to share and feel accepted. Because I wouldn't say we're not accepted here. I think sometimes we just come from very different backgrounds. We have very different viewpoints. It's nicer to have people you can compare with that you feel similar to. Well, as I said, I really wasn't religious before coming to SLU, and having something like JSA kind of opened the door to a community and a side of Judaism that I don't think I would have ever found myself originally going into.
You're more aware that you're a minority at a school where a lot of people practice one certain religion, so it makes you kind of want to seek out people who are the same as.
So, as I said earlier, living on campus versus being off is very different because, in the SLU bubble, there's not really a synagogue in the general vicinity to get to easily. So, practicing is a little different, so I tend to do more at home as opposed to going to a synagogue to do services or things like that.